Welcome everybody to Daytona International Speedway here on iRacing. My name's Josh Hall. This is the SCSRA Fortuna Iron Truck Series, kicking off their season tonight here at Daytona as we take a look at last year's champion, Devin Bacino, out on track. The inaugural Truck Series champion, hoping to go back-to-back here as we get ready for 45 heart-pounding laps here at Daytona. A couple new faces here in the SCSRA. Want to welcome Wes Frank Norman, Guy Driggers, Craig Schroeder, David Hartney, Eli Raposa. Hope I said that right. And I thought there was one more. Well, that was it for newbies here as we get ready for a brand new season here on Intensity Broadcasting. I apologize, I thought I had the schedule all set and ready to go. Take a look at this upcoming schedule. Daytona night tonight. Next week, we move on to one of my favorite tracks, New Hampshire, Darlington, Sonoma, Charlotte, Las Vegas, Watkins Glen, Richmond. How about Eldora in the dirt? Nashville Superspeedway. Then we start the playoffs with Martinsville, Talladega, Atlanta, Michigan in the season finale at Homestead. A couple of these races will be double points races as well. I believe Darlington will be a double points race as well as Eldora. So it'll be an exciting season here on Intensity Broadcasting as we get ready to do battle here at the beach at Daytona. There will also be a payout for a random driver here tonight. We'll talk about that at the end of the race. Don't want to spoil it now. Eli Raposa says I said it right. That's great. Also see he's another Massachusetts native. I'm also a Massachusetts native, so that made it a little bit easier for me as well. As looks like Eli is going to be one of the first drivers to make his way out onto the track here tonight. Also, if you're watching, and we do have the Facebook and the YouTube chat up, drop me a like. Let me know who you're pulling for here tonight. As we see, actually, first truck out on track is the 5 of Bobby Mays. Bobby Mays, part of the Mays Mafia. Bobby, Kyle, and Todd Mays, as well as Mark Shavers joining that group this season. See who else is out on track. We've got the 43 of David Hartney out here as well. There's Eli Raposa out on track. And taking the green flag is your series champion from last season, Devin Bacino. And league admin, Brian Nudie out on track. Definitely not the points leader. Season hasn't even started yet he's already finished second. And how about our super speedway master himself, Stephen Black? You know, Stephen Black loves running super speedways as much as he loves running those cup cars, which he's always talked about how much he's loved running. So should expect to see him with a great finish here tonight. Try to give equal time to all our drivers out here. See the 47 of Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence as Brian Nudie jumps up to the top of the board. Oh, see the 55 of Kyle Mays out on track as well. And a different number for Uncle Todd this season, running the 9. So a couple drivers with different numbers this season. Stephen Black ran the 18 instead of the 98. Trying to see if there's anybody else I can see that's got a different number. That looks like the only ones. Bobby Mays to the top of the board with a 52.02. Nick Mathers out on track as well. Just coming to take the checker flag. Cuts the apron a little bit, which is legal to do in qualifying. He's going to jump up to number 2, but Kyle Mays, the first driver into the 51 bracket, currently sitting on pole with a few drivers left to qualify, including the 7 of Logan Hagerman. Hagerman running a Intensity Broadcasting ride. We appreciate the support that he gives. So we see that truck come down the backstretch. Running up against the wall, trying to get as much speed out of that truck as he can, as we got about 4.5 minutes left of qualifying. See the 72 of Wes Frank Norman out on track as well, just coming to take the green flag. Eddie Morris coming out on track. He's got a brand new ride this year in that Morris Customs machine. Amazing looking truck that he's got there. And keeping the Octagon Camping logo on the truck. Amazing looking truck. David Wright out on track with a sponsorless truck. See David coming across the line for his second lap, and he is going to jump up to 4th on the speed chart. See, Zachary Cox just finished his qualifying attempt and does a little burnout through the grass. We see the 37 of Derek Chaput coming out on track with the Twitter handle Neon Chappie up there. All his fans go give a like and subscribe there. See the 09 of Michael White coming out on track as well. I think we've showcased just about all our drivers. Drivers I know I missed were the 9 of Uncle Todd, Sylvan Seguin. I think are the only 2 drivers I did not get on the broadcast yet. A couple drivers yet to get out on track. The 92 of Guy Driggers, Brandon White, and Brian Merle Jr. have yet to get on track to make a qualifying attempt. See Derek Chapu coming down the backstretch right now on his second lap. See where he's able to shake out here in qualifying, currently in the 9th position. Chapu comes across the line, and he will not improve on his time, so currently still in the 9th position. Michael White down the backstretch, excuse me. It looks like those 3 trucks of Driggers, White, and Merle Jr. will not be qualifying. As we have just 5 seconds left. Should be just enough time for Michael White to get to the start-finish line here before the server time ran out, so Michael White will roll off from that 20th position. So we will take a look at your starting grid tonight and your pole sitter for the inaugural or the opening race of the season is the 9 of Todd Mays. Excuse me, with the 55 of Kyle Mays starting to his outside. So Mays Mafia starting 1 and 2. In third, you'll find Logan Hagerman and Nick Mathers, a couple Canadians on the second row. Then Dave Wright and Bobby Mays rolling off in row number 3. Wes Frank Norman and Craig Schroeder rolling off in the 4th position. In the 4th row, excuse me. And in 5th row, Derek Chapu and the Super Speedway Master, Stephen Black. Sylvan Seguin will be rolling off in 11th with Brian Nudie from the 12th position. 13th will be the 68 of last season's champion, Devin Bacino, and Eddie Morris in the 14th position. 15th, Michael Lawrence with Zachary Cox rounding out row number 8. Row 9 will be David Hartley and Mark Shavers. Then finally, row number 10, Eli Raposa and Michael White. Michael Provault bringing on the series sponsor. He'll be rolling off from 21st with Guy Driggers in the 92 rolling off 22nd. 23rd would be Brian Merle Jr. and Brandon White round out the rest of the field here at Daytona. Again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight here on Intensity Broadcasting for the second season of the Fortuna Iron Truck Series here on Intensity. Looking forward to a great race at this 2.5 mile super speedway. You're going to hear a lot of terms out of me tonight. Terms like drafting, energy. We'll be seeing a lot of energy as it moves around here. And what I mean by that is one lane might be a little bit quicker than another. And you might see that lane start to gain some energy and make a move forward because it's got more trucks in line. Drafting. And drafting is when one truck gets behind another. Allows that front truck to push all the air and allows the back trucks to get right on the back bumper, thus making that line go quicker. It'll be all about who your friends are here tonight, as you can't pass by yourself. Stephen Black says in the chat, Super Speedway Master here. We know how much you love the Super Speedway, Stephen. That's why we mentioned it. And we're looking forward to seeing you work your way through the field here tonight. Although it looks like that 18 truck is being posted for tape on the grill. No, I'm just playing around. If anybody's a Kyle Busch fan, you know what that's all about. I got a kid when I can. But here we go. Pace car is getting ready to make that hard left-hand turn onto pit road. We're getting ready to open up the season here in the SCSRA Fortuna Truck Series here on Intensity Broadcasting. The pace car leads him down, takes that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Kyle Mays is going to have to wait for the restart zone. Green flag is in the air. We are racing here at Daytona. And Kyle Mays with a great jump, with a great push from Logan Hagerman down on that low side. Kyle Mays not able to get quite the same push from the 60 of Nick Mather. Although here comes the energy transferring back to the top now as Kyle Mays has a little bit of help on that high side, and that high lane is starting to make a move forward. Takes about a lap and a half for these trucks to get up to full speed. And we'll see them driving 2x2, 3x3. It'll be like rush hour traffic at 200 miles an hour. I can assure you one thing, though. Somebody named Mays will be leading the first lap here as they come off of turn number 4. Down the short chute to the start-finish line. And it's a side-by-side, but it looks like Todd Mays will lead the opening lap of the season here at Daytona. And the 84 of David Wright falling back off of Logan Hagerman just a little bit. Oh, almost a bad bump from the 55. Now, you can get right on the back bumper and you can push that truck in front of you, but you don't want to do it in the corner. If you're connected, just like see how Logan Hagerman is connected to the 9 of Todd Mays, you can push all you want, but you don't want to get up to the bumper and give the push in the corner. And you definitely want to be as square as possible when you give that push, or that can really upset the truck in front of you. As we're still 2x2, 12 rows back as they come across the line. And Todd Mays leads lap number 2. Some drivers already making a couple moves. Brian Nudie up 2 spots from where he started, up into the top 10. Working up on that high side. A little gap between him and Eddie Morris. That'll bring the Eddie Morris having a little bit more speed. If he's able to get a little bit closer to Brian Nudie, he's going to be able to get that big draft. Because these trucks almost push a wake as Logan Hagerman now gets himself up to the front. He's able to get out in front of Kyle Mays, get pushed up to the front. And now Logan Hagerman in the lead here as they come off of turn number 4 and to the stripe and give Hagerman a lap lead here tonight. Now Dave Wright jumps up on that high side. He's trying to get to the front. He's got Kyle Mays giving him a push. Now Mays falls off just a little bit. That's going to break up the top line's energy. Going to give it back down to the bottom. As now he gets back up to the back bumper. You see that top lane starting to move. Now Dave and Kyle with a great lead there into the corner. They were making some moves there, getting some speed moving forward. I thought that top line was going to make something happen as we see Brian Nudie continue to march forward. Double drivers who have made some really big moves since the start of the race. The 6 of Mark Shavers, currently up 4 positions, up in the 14th. Now up in the 13th. And Michael White up 5 positions as well. So a couple drivers making some moves as Dave Wright now gets pushed up to the lead here at Daytona. Logan Hagerman's going to give him the big shove, and looks like we'll have yet another leader here. And now Todd Mays jumps up to the high side in front of Kyle Mays. Mays Mafia working together. We've got all 3 of them there in the top 5. Bobby Mays down on the low side, right behind Logan Hagerman. They've got Uncle Todd and Kyle Mays up on the high side. Todd Mays out in front of David Wright by just a little bit. He's clear of David. He's going to... Oh, he thought he was going to tuck down. Oh, some contact. Logan Hagerman is around Nick Mather. Oh, we got the big one. Kyle Mays. Sylvan Segoin, the 09 of Michael White involved as well. Guy Drigger's caught up in that one. Looks like Wes Frank Norman, and that's going to bring out our first wreckage rewind of the night. As we take a look to see what happened up at the front here. And that all started when, was it Todd Mays thought he was clear. We'll get a blimp view for this one as we take a look back at what happened. As they come into turn number 4, Todd thought he was clear, but Dave Wright had a little bit of a nose on him. Dave has to check up to keep from turning the 9. That checks up Logan Hagerman, who gets hit by the 5 of Bobby Mays, sends him up the track into Nick Mather. And from there, it's just on as those two wash each other up the track. See the 72 involved. Stephen Black get a little piece of it. Eddie Morris, Mark Shavers, Sylvan Segoin involved. Michael White. We see the 19. Brandon White going through the grass to avoid it. One truck up and over on its roof. I believe that's Stephen Black on his roof there. Nope, that was the 72 on its roof. That is Wes Frank Norman, who is up on his roof. But all these drivers are going to be able to come down pit road and take their one reset of the night. We do see a couple drivers coming in and getting service topped off as well. Kevin Kinder's in the house, Kevin. That did take a few drivers out. That is for sure. But that's just super speedway racing. It's not if we're going to have a big one. It's when we're going to have a big one. And when the field is stacked up like that, it's very easy for one car to get sent back across the track and wipe out a whole bunch of drivers, as we just saw there, and we see in every race that runs at the super speedways. But also, let's not forget, this is their first race back. These guys haven't really run with each other in a while. There's a couple new faces in the field, so these things are going to happen. And I'm sure we're going to see it again tomorrow night in the Xfinity Series. And that's right, the Xfinity Series is back tomorrow night as well. You will see the exact same format or schedule for the Xfinity Series, the Devs Sports Cards Xfinity Series. As the lights on the pace car are off, we're going to re-rack them, restack them, and get ready to refire them. And just like we had at the beginning of the race, we're going to have an all Mays front row. Todd Mays back on the bottom, Kyle Mays up on the top. And a couple of drivers making some big moves because of that wreck too. David Hartney up into the 4th position. Eli Raposa up into 5th. 13 and 14 spots respectively. So here we go. Pace car getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Todd Mays is going to lead him back down to the restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. We are back racing here at Daytona, and a great jump for our top 3. Dave Wright giving a huge shove to Todd Mays as they make their way into turn number 1. And the top three have broken away from the rest of the field. There's some 3-wide racing back here. They're able to get it straightened out. Looks like one truck, I believe that's the 43 of David Hartney, stuck up on the high side. May have missed a gear or something. He's fallen all the way back to the back of the pack. Could be coming to join his teammate, Wes Frank Norman, as well. So Michael Provolt tries to get back in line to keep these guys from losing the draft. Got Craig Schroeder in the 4 and Dave Wright, Stephen Black up on the high side working together. There's Zach. Also getting up there is that Zachary Cox up on the high side. And just behind him, we've got a second high lane train forming up, led by Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. And right behind Cheeseburger is the 40 of Brian Nudie. And Brian Nudie, we know he's not much of a super speedway racer, but he has definitely shown himself to know how to get through lately. As up front, Todd Mays continues the lead. But it looks like Craig Schroeder's got something coming up on that high side. And we've got ourselves a little guest here in the booth tonight. We got the one and only Colin Willems up in the booth. Colin, how you doing?
Hey, Josh. How you doing tonight?
Man, I'm doing great. It's the season opener. We've already had one big one. And, man, this one is already starting to be a bit of a wild one.
Yeah, looking that way. I just joined a few minutes ago watching. Looks like we got a good race brewing here.
Yeah, we've got a couple of drivers making some big moves through the field. Eli Raposa and Guy Driggers already up 15 and 17 spots, respectively. Brian Nudie making his way through the field as well. He's not known as a super speedway racer by any means, but doing a good job so far.
Yeah, it's looking like a little bit more diverse group this season, so looking forward to see what you guys can do here. But, no surprise, we got a Mays up front.
That's true. We've got all the Mays up front as Todd and Kyle are up at the front, and Bobby was just up front a few minutes ago. He's back in the 20th position. I'm sure he'll be making his way back up through the field as well. So far, though, we've got Todd, Dave, and Kyle up front. Craig Schroeder was trying to make that high lane work, but hasn't really been able to move too much further after getting alongside the 46 of Eli Raposa.
It looks like that outside lane's starting to build a head of steam here now. We'll see if they can get up in front.
Now we take a look from above, and you can see exactly that. That top lane starting to get a little bit more formed up. If Zachary Cox can get back up to the back bumper of Stephen Black, I feel like that top lane could really get going. As you see that bottom lane, the first three are nice and tight, and then it starts to break up a little bit further back, and that's where that energy comes from I was talking about earlier in the race. When you can get those trucks all lined up, 5-6 trucks in a row, you can really start going somewheres. And again, we see that 18 of Stephen Black, the Super Speedway King, up on the high side, trying to get himself up to the front here. Now the 55, Kyle Mays, jumping up to the high side. He saw that energy coming. He's trying to lead that top lane to the front.
Now, where do you want to be, Josh? Do you want to be behind your teammate on the bottom, or do you want to be side by side with him?
Me personally, I'd like to be in that second position on the low side. For me, I feel like I can control the race there. I can keep the leader out in front. I can drag that high lane back. And that guy sitting there on the low side in second place, he's got a lot that he can do there. And not everybody knows how to take advantage of that, but that's where I like to be. Plus, when it comes down to the end, you put yourself in an opportunity to win.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I know when I got the 81 behind me, I feel pretty good about it.
Well, I appreciate that for sure. As we got a drag race down the backstretch, it's a Mays and Mays show up at the front as Kyle Mays is trying to get around Uncle Todd up on that high side with Craig Schroeder giving him a push. So far, pretty calm, though, after that big wreck that we had earlier in the race, which was, I don't know if you were there for that, Colin, or not, but it was just driver coming down when he thought he was clear, checking up the bottom lane, and it's all on from there.
No, I didn't catch that. I came just after that happened.
So Dave Wright did a good job of avoiding the 9 coming down the track. Unfortunately, Logan Hagerman didn't check up fast enough, got turned around by Nick Mather, and from there it was all on. But right now, it looks like some of those drivers making their way back up towards the front. We see Logan Hagerman currently running back in the 11th position, slowly making his way back through the field. Bobby Mays, though, who was also caught up in that earlier, just not having the same luck. He's sitting back here in front of the 72 of Wes Frank Norman, who I think they're just kind of riding right now, trying to be safe. They were caught up in that incident. They know that they don't have their reset left. Same thing with Eddie Morris. We know he's a bit of a super speedway guy. The fact that he's just kind of hanging out in the back right now just kind of tells me he's biding his time and hoping there's not another big caution and trying to be there at the end.
Yeah, I'd be keeping an eye on that group with Butchino, Hagerman, and Chaput. You know, those guys work really well together, and you know, a race like this, you gotta sit and think. You know, how fast can I carve up through the field when I need to? Do I wait for 5 to go, 10 to go, 15 to go? You know, right now everything's staying pretty stagnant, so it might be tough to tell.
Yeah, we see, like you said, Butchino and Chaput are lined up right now. So those guys are definitely trying to be there together, work together, and get themselves up towards the front. And Brian Merle Jr. as well. I didn't recognize Merle in the orange truck. A little different look for the McKinleyville barbershop truck. The orange, white, and pink goes really well together.
Yeah, it couldn't be anybody but Junior, though, right?
That's for sure. One thing I like to do, especially at a track like this, give you guys a little bit of enjoyment of the sights and sounds. As we do a little bit, as Fox would call it crank it up, we call it pump up the intensity. How about that? Guy Driggers up to the front. Didn't really see where he came from, but all of a sudden, he's on the radar and he's right there at the front of the field trying to take over the lead.
Yeah, Kyle's doing a really good job trying to push past the local Todd there.
Yeah, you see Kyle weaving left and right a little bit. As we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, you want to be square on that bumper when you're giving a push. Maybe not so much important down the straightaways, but if you're going to try to give a push in the corners, you want to be as square as possible. You don't want to make connection in the corner. You want to make connection on the straightaway. Then you can push through the corner as long as you're square, just like we see right there between the 84 and the 9. That's a great push that Dave Wright is giving Uncle Todd right there.
It's looking good. I've said it before, I'll say it again. When it comes to these style racing, it's all about who you can trust, right? If you've got a guy that you're unsure of or don't know, you might not want to push on him into the corner or onto the straights, but you hook up with someone you know who can handle it, by all means.
Yeah, and vice versa. If you know you're comfortable pushing somebody and you can hold that steady line, then you feel like you can push just about anybody out there. As that 92 of Guy Driggers is starting to fall back just a little bit.
Another big push coming, though.
He does. I thought the 84 was going to try to jump up on the high side. He's going to stay low, though, right behind Uncle Todd. Surprised he wasn't trying to take that energy, trying to move himself up to the front here.
What do you have for a fuel window here, Josh? I wonder if he's trying to save.
Yeah, he could be trying to save. I imagine fuel window, let's see, we got 70% fuel, so probably right around 26, 28 laps would be your fuel window, which these guys are getting pretty close to. We did have a caution, so we are running lap 23. So I imagine your leaders that did not come in and top off, they'll probably be coming in between 28 and 30. And then everybody else should be able to stretch it out to about lap 35 or so.
Gotcha. And my pit road scanner just came alive here in the 92. We'll be pitting next time by, so we'll see if he gets room down there on the bottom.
For sure, he's trying to get himself down there. Kyle May's trying to give him a big push to get him in a position where he can get down on the pit road. And you don't want to pit by yourself. You definitely need to pit with a group. Pretty much 3 or more drivers is the magic number. But the more drivers, the more better it's going to be. And yes, I said more better. Kevin Kinder in the chat says, "Gotta know how you can dance, who you can dance with, and how fast. If you can figure it out, the better." And that's absolutely right. As we see that high lane going 3 wide, we see Driggers. Oh, Driggers gets turned down into Logan Hagerman, up the track, back in front. little bit of contact with, is that Nick Mather, I think, was caught up in it as well. No caution, though. Yeah, green flag is still out. And now Nick Mathers gets turned coming onto pit road. The green flag is still in the air. So we have not gone caution. But a really tough break for Nick Mathers, who Nick Mather was just turned completely around, had to reset. And that's going to give the lead out to Buchno and Chaput. And they're got quite a bit of a lead over Brian Merrill Jr. So that little bit of an incident coming onto pit road really just spread the field out completely. As we see the Neon Boys plus Craig Schroeder all still out on track. And then it's about 7 seconds back to the rest of the field. Stephen Black, Sylvan Seguin, Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, Mark Shavers, Logan Hagerman, all back there. And Hagerman, I think, is going to be in some trouble. He's got a lot of damage to that truck.
Yeah, it looks like 6 or 7 trucks are caught up there. To me, it looks like the 55 may have got under the 92 and turned them down into the 7 and caused a big checkup as they were trying to negotiate their way down to the bottom line to make their green flag pit stop.
Yeah, as now we see Brian Merrill Jr. and Craig Schroeder have caught up to Buchno and Chaput as they're going around the 51 of Zachary Cox, who's stuck out there by himself, and you can see the speed difference between a train of trucks and one truck by himself. And Kevin Kinder, I agree with you. Wow, no caution. And because Colin's not out there telling anybody to stop on the track.
I have never and would never.
Oh, man.
There might have been one time.
But that's in the old series that we will not say the name of.
No, we will not.
That old series is like Voldemort. He shall not be named. So now it's 5 trucks that Zachary Cox is able to hook onto the back of these trucks here, but we see Sylvan Seguin being pushed here. Oh no, they're all coming onto pit road. They were all just running much faster than our leaders a minute ago. That's Seguin, Cheeseburger Lawrence, and Stephen Black all coming down onto pit road to get their service done. And our leaders did pit last on lap number 7. So they can go probably about 5 or 6 more laps than the rest of the field here.
Well, if that's the case and they get on and off smooth and stay hooked up, then they're going to have quite an advantage over the rest of the field here.
Well, that's for sure. It's just a matter of if they can all pit and get on and off pit road together. See him going around the 66 of Sylvan, who's down on the apron. There's Stephen Black down on the apron as well. Major disadvantage you have here is you cannot start accelerating back onto the track until you get onto the backstretch. Used to be able to get right off of pit road and up onto the banking, get up to the high side and get back up to speed. Not anymore. Now you got to wait till you get onto the backstretch, which is really, really difficult, especially if you only take 2 tires or you have hot tires. It's very easy to spin out on the apron.
Let's see if Steven can catch a sniff of their draft here and stick with this pack. Interesting to see if he starts racing the 51 for that lucky dog position.
Now the Neon Boys come down on the pit road. And they all got on pretty cleanly all together. So that's going to give the lead to the 4 of Craig Schroeder. So I'll latch on to Stephen Black here. And Logan Hagerman currently rides in second place. Topped off on lap number 8. He's kind of running by himself. He's got one truck in front of him. That's the 19 of Brandon White, but they're not close enough to where that really has any effect on that 7 machine. Now Schroeder's going to make his way down onto pit road. And we see Chaput and them get passed by Brian Nudie leading this group with Eddie Morris, Dave Wright, Todd Mays, and a lap truck there. That is the 43 of David Hartney. So how about that? Brian Nudie up into the lead. He has pit already. And this is your lead group right here. So it looks like the advantage and the Neon Boys just cannot get lined up. And they're not going to be able to try to chase down that group if they can't get lined up here.
Well, it's looking like the 7 might still have the lead after this cycle's out, but he looks like he might be by himself there.
Yeah, and he still needs a pit. He was last on pit road on lap number 8, so he won't be able to stay out there too much longer by himself unless he can really slow down and save some fuel. But again, a lot of damage to the front end of that 7.
Yeah, I don't think he's got enough time for that.
And this group is pretty content just running in line, trying to get themselves to the end.
Getting that 8 truck of Eddie Morris is another guy that you want to have around you in these types of situations.
Oh, for sure. There's anytime I see that 8 truck behind me, I don't even need to look up in the mirror. I can just feel it. He's behind me and he's pushing me, and we're going to the front.
Yeah, I like having 8s around me. I like the 8, the 81, the 82. They all treat me well at these tracks. So, no, that's a good group. If I'm Brian Nudie and I could choose 3 guys to be behind me right here, those 3 would definitely be picks for me.
Logan Hagerman making his way down on the pit road. So that's going to give the lead solely over to Brian Nudie. We have 11 laps to go here at Daytona. Still, I have no idea how that didn't bring out a caution earlier. But it's made for some strategy, and it's made for an interesting finish here.
Well, not to sound too sinister, but no yellow, and look who got the lead. Is that a coincidence, or?
It's almost like we've seen this before.
Maybe once or twice. I'm just kidding, Nudie. I love you. So by your estimation, these guys can make it now, right?
For sure. They pit on lap 25. That means they'd only have to go 20 laps. We know that they made it at least 25 laps, so these guys will be good till the end. Looks like every single driver out there should be able to make it without an issue. Actually, there is one driver who probably will not make it to the end. That is the 09 of Michael White, last on pit road on lap number 12. The leaders just went by that truck right now, although he is incredibly off the pace. As we take a look at him right here. Currently top speed of 151, so he may actually be able to make it to the end based off the fuel mileage that truck is going to get. So here we go.
So
Cross. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, just looking at the second pack here, wondering if they're making up any time, and if they are, if it's going to be enough.
No, they are currently losing time right now. The interval is growing between Todd Mays and Brian Merrill Jr. It is now 7.5 seconds.
Yeah, it looks like they lost 3/10 that lap. Yep, that won't cut it.
Yep, and now they are 7 3/4 seconds behind, so they are losing that front pack quickly. And I'm looking at the speed difference between them. The leader's doing 190 miles an hour. Brian Merle Jr. is doing 180 miles an hour. So a 10-mile-an-hour difference between those two groups is not going to get it done. As we see, the lap cars stay down out of the way. They're off pace. So staying out of the way, as off-pace trucks should. And that allows Eddie Morris to make a move to the outside around Brian Newty. So how about that? Dave Wright and Eddie Morris taking advantage of the pick from the lap trucks and be able to sneak themselves around Brian Newty to take over the lead of this race. Todd Mays has some help from behind as well from a couple new drivers. The 92 of Driggers, and that is the 43 of Hartney. And Driggers, we know, is a buddy of Provalt's. So we'll have to see if either Provalt and Driggers can pull Brian Newty back up to the front.
Yeah, keep in mind that there's two battles going on up in here. Not only the battle for the lead, but the battle for the Lucky Dog. Should have yelled come out between the 95 and the 92.
That is true. And if they were to be involved in it, the 7 of Logan Hagerman isn't too far behind. Brian Newty now up on the high side, getting a big push from Michael Provolt. Trying to get back up to the lead. They had one more truck up there. Maybe Driggers was to go up there. Driggers is going to stay on the bottom side and leave those two hanging. He's like, you know what? I'm fighting for the Lucky Dog. I'm going to get myself out in front in case that happens. Newty's going to slide right in. Hangs Provolt up on the high side. We have just 6 laps to go. And the interval back to Devin Bacino now is now 10 seconds.
Yeah, even all the slicing and dicing they're doing up here, they're still making time.
If we go back and look at this second group, now they've picked up a couple cars too, but just not able to get in line and stay in line as well as the front group is. So Eddie Morris is going to lead over David Wright here. A couple teammates give each other a big push. We saw the last truck to pit, Michael White, just pull onto pit road in front of the leader, so no more lap traffic for a little while. Five laps to go here at Daytona. There is 2 lap trucks up ahead. I don't know if they are going to be an impact here, as they are just entering turn number 3 right now. I think that is, no, it's not. I'm trying to figure out who that is. Yeah, that is the 72 of Wes Frank Norman and the 19 of Brandon White, who are about the short shoot back to the this lead pack. We're now side by side. Brian Newty up on the high side, getting a good push from the 43. Just 4 laps to go. So right now, it's not all about what you know, it's about who you know as you get yourself in position to try to win the race here tonight. I can't even talk. And Kevin Kinder says the same thing, time to make your move with your dance partner, and absolutely that. But not just with your dance partner, but this is an opportunity to leave your dance partner behind, as David Wright could easily jump up in front of Brian Newty here to get himself up to the front as we come to 3 laps to go. And what I said before, I'm going to take back. Those lap trucks may come into play here, because we still have 3 laps to go here. That's 7.5 miles. I'm not breaking that into kilometers, I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, I'm lost then. Oh, trouble?
Trouble. Oh, one around. The 43 goes through the grass. Able to hang on to it. No caution again. Just 2 laps to go. They are catching those leaders pretty quickly. Or those lap cars pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think the 43 gave the 40 a big shot and checked up and then got rear-ended by the 95 and turned out into the infield. But yeah, no yellow, we stay green. Shaped up for a good finish.
And now Canute is way back in the back with Uncle Todd in front of him. Can those two make a last-ditch effort here on the white flag laps? Eddie Morris comes around. Lap trucks are here in play. They're going to stay down on the bottom because they are off the pace. And the 92 is going to jump down there as well. He doesn't want to be part of the battle here as the white flag is in the air. Just 1 lap to go. Is Eddie Morris going to be able to stay out in front, or is Dave Wright going to try and spoil Eddie's party here? And you got Uncle Todd and Brian Nudie back there as well. Do they have an opportunity to steal this one away?
I don't know. Those guys are pretty strong down there on the front 2 trucks there.
Yeah, they're trying to make a move up on the high side. The 92 trying to help up as well, but there's a big gap back to those 2 behind. As they come through turns 3 and 4 and to the short chute, I don't think there's going to be enough time. Eddie Morris.
We do have a run coming.
They are coming. Here comes Uncle Todd. Brian Newey's going to try to split the middle. Eddie Morris is going to win. They're 3 wide for second place. Todd Mays comes home second. Dave Wright gets third. Brian Nudie in 4th. And it's going to be a battle for 5th as they're still out there on the track. And Derek Chaput. I'm sorry, it's Don Bacino comes home in 5th. But how about Eddie Morris? New truck. Great looking truck at that. Brand new season, gets the first win of the season. Just not strong enough there at the end between Todd Mays and Brian Newdy to get themselves up towards the front.
Now, if we dissect that a little bit, David Wright made the perfect move to slow that run down without making contact while still giving the 8 a push. That was perfect.
Yeah, that was absolutely perfect. See Eddie Morris burning it down here on the front stretch in the tri-oval through the grass. And all that work they put into that grass to have it all tore up there. Trying to find that 8 truck as he's still burning it out here. Let's take a look at the results. Again, Eddie Morris coming home with the win over Todd Mays and Dave Wright. Brian Nudie comes home 4th. Devin Butchino comes home in 5th. Derek Chaput, Brian Merrill Jr., Craig Schroeder, Bobby Mays, and Kyle Mays round out your top 10. I just got to give the magic number to Brian Nudie as the 16th place driver. Is going to win a little bonus as well. And Kevin Kinder says, yeah, that no caution took the opportunity away from a lot of drivers. That is for sure, unfortunately. Michael Lawrence comes home in 11th. Stephen Black in 12th. Zachary Cox in 13th. Sylvan Seguin 14th. And Mark Shavers comes home in 15th. 16th place will be Wes Frank Norman, then Guy Driggers in 17th. 18th, Brandon White. Eli Raposa in 19th, and Michael Provolt comes home in 20th. And Logan Hagerman, getting caught up in two of those wrecks, comes home 21st. David Hartney in 22nd. Michael White 23rd, and Nick Mathers rounds out the field in 24th. Okay, let's get ready to talk to our top three here tonight in the opening race of the season. And we'll start with your third place finisher, David Wright. Dave, you got Josh and Colin up in the booth. You got us?
I got you, Josh. I got you, Colin.
Man, what a run there at the end. You and Eddie working well together. I didn't know if you were going to try to make the move to get the win or if you were just content riding behind Eddie there. But, man, you guys ran pretty much a flawless race. Talk about it. What was the strategy coming in, and were you surprised that there was only one caution?
Not really surprised at one caution. Feel semi at fault for that because I checked up to not turn Uncle Todd coming down. But after qualifying fifth, I mean, I wasn't going to drop to the back, just try to stay up front, was hanging around with Logan, lead a lap, get a bonus point, and then just try to stay out of trouble in that control car that you love, Josh. So I was hanging out in that spot after the accident, and it was a one-stop race. Tried to stay in the line after that, and it cycled all around. And then once I got behind the Morris Customs, I was just going to really stay on that tailgate until the last corner, try to make a move outside. He was there. I wasn't going to press any issues, so push him to the win.
Yeah, it was a great run, Dave. That was the question I had is what was the decision coming out of 4? It looked like there was a run coming up on the high side. You had an opportunity to take it, but made a bit of a pinch on him without making contact. Like I was saying to Josh, you made the perfect move to protect that high line and still push the A truck to the win. Was that the plan, or were we trying to maybe steal a win there?
No, yeah. I mean, I was going to race him to the victory coming out of 4, but honestly, Eddie played it perfect too, right? So if he slid up, I wasn't going to turn him. So as we both went up, I just got out of it, took Todd's run away. Don't know where Nudie went. I think he might have scattered down to the bottom low, but it was a good finish, good clean finish too.
Yeah, it was a great finish, and a great finish for you, finishing third. That's good momentum in the beginning of the season here. How do you like the rest of the races coming up with this wacky schedule we have this season?
I can't complain. With the third place finish, definitely a good point start. I will say, this is obviously one of the races I try to finish at the top of, so get best points I can here. The rest of the season will be a crapshoot, depending on certain tracks. And I'm traveling a little bit for work, so I'm going to miss a couple races. So important that get the good ones in, I guess.
Well, again, before we let you go, anyone you want to thank, any shout-outs you got to give tonight?
I just want to thank you guys, man. You guys are awesome. Nudie, the league, the admins, all the admins that helped Nudie out, Eddie and Morris Customs, my brother for getting me into it. And yeah, that's it, man. Awesome league. Good, clean race tonight.
For sure. And where was your brother tonight?
He's on a cruise, dude. He's, I don't know, somewhere in the Caribbean being a schmuck. But so be it.
All right, man. Well, again, congrats, and sure we'll talk to you soon.
Likewise. Take care, gentlemen.
So that's your third place finisher, Dave Wright. Let's bring in your second place finisher, Uncle Todd Mays. Uncle Todd, you got Josh and Colin in the booth. You got us?
Hey, y'all. How are y'all?
Man, we're doing great. Not as well as you, though, coming home with second there. Trying to make a last-ditch effort to get the win. Just came up a little bit short. But great strategy from all the Mays boys tonight. Qualifying up near the front. And definitely a good showing for the Mays Mafia here at Daytona. What was the strategy for you guys tonight? I know you guys must have all been working together. And were you guys shocked to not see that caution come out when everybody wrecked there in front of pit road?
Yeah, we were. And at the first deal there, me and Kyle didn't pit. We stayed out, figuring we can make it with one stop. And when a lot of others went in, so I guess they kind of changed their strategies because they were going to have to pit again. And we only had to pit one more time. So the complexity of the race just flip-flopped, in that area. And then it just kind of the green stop was go where you could and come out where you could and hope you made a good entrance and exit.
Yeah, for sure, Todd. What was a great run, by the way? What was the kind of plan going forward after the incident there when Kyle was no longer with you? It looked like you were in that group with Dave and Eddie and Nudie. Who was your friend there, and what were you hoping would happen there?
Figured I really didn't have any friends when you got right down to it, so I was just gonna stay there and wait till the end. I don't know how they split up and what teams are what, but I knew there wasn't no mafia there, so I was going to take my chances. And then I was hoping Nudie gave me a good push, but then he slid off on me and he went for the win too. So we kind of all cut each other's runs off right there coming to the checkered flag.
Well, again, a great run coming home second tonight, stealing Nudie's second place finish, as he's used to coming in. But as the season goes on, how do you like the season schedule? Kind of a wild schedule, don't you think?
I do. I think Brian did a good job of putting it together, and I just hope I can stay up there where I'm at now.
Well, before we let you go,
along with the rest of the Maze Mafia.
For sure. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank? Anyone you shout out tonight?
I want to thank y'all, man. Y'all do a wonderful job at what you're doing. Thank Brian. He's the best commissioner, league runner that I've been with, and thank my wife for letting me do these. She's exceptional.
Oh, awesome, man. Again, congrats on the second place finish. I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon as the season goes on.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks, Colin.
Yeah, we'll see you, Todd.
See you.
Finally, let's bring in your man of the hour, Eddie Morris. Eddie, you got Josh and Colin up in the booth. You got us?
Hey, brother. How's it going?
Man, not as great as you're doing right now, getting the season opening win here at Daytona. You get that first win under the belt this season. That's got to feel pretty good.
Oh, man, you ain't lying. That feels real good. First off, man, I got to shout out to D. Wright for that push, man. That was something. I told him earlier, I said I kind of feel like I owe him one now. but he's like, no, man, I jumped out and you just blocked it. And I was like, well, all right, cool. but I shout out to him for the good pushes. And me and Nudie, we hooked up there after all that went down, and we shot the gap and hit the pit road and come out, and we caught up, and we were absolutely flying. So shout out to those two guys.
Yeah, you got that brand new looking truck out front. Made it look good here tonight. I'm gonna ask you the same question I've asked a lot of people tonight. Kind of a early wreck and then green flag the rest of the way. Did you expect it to go green flag, or did your strategy change as the race went on?
I got caught up in that first one, so my strategy was going to be a little bit off. I didn't need as much gas as everybody else did, and I already had my stuff set when all that went down. And my game plan after all that was to hit the pit road as soon as possible when I knew I could make it to the end, and that's when everybody started going, and I slowed down enough to miss all that stuff, and figured might as well just go in now and get it taken care of instead of losing a bunch more time trying to come back around and getting on pit road that way. So.
Colin, you got anything for Eddie here?
Oh, yeah, Eddie, good run, man. That was really fun to watch. I think just by watching the last few laps there, you might owe David a drink or two, but that was a great run. He did great for you. You guys did a good job staying hooked up. You guys made up a ton of time on that pack behind you, even while you guys were slicing and dicing with those lap cars. So great run. You guys were definitely deserved to be at the front of the pack. So I'm happy for you for getting that win.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I knew with I think it was like 10 laps to go, I heard the other guys in the other pack talking about, sticking single file and being faster that way. And I think top 4 or 5, we're absolutely single file. So I knew, they were going to be pretty good ways away. They're not going to catch us that quick. So, but yeah, man, everything worked out. So it's crazy. It's a good finish. Good race for everybody, man. Appreciate it.
Well, again, Eddie, great job with the win here tonight. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank? I know you already gave some shout-outs, but anybody else you want to shout out here tonight?
Yeah, man. Like I said, we got a shout-out to D. Wright for the pushes. Got a shout-out to Brian Nudie. We hooked up and we made some tracks after all that, after our pit. Shout out to Fortuna Iron for coming on board as a series sponsor this year. We really appreciate that. So shout out to those guys definitely, and also Dev Sports Cards for the Xfinity Tour, their Xfinity series that we have. Shout out to those guys for coming on board also. Shout out to Intensity Broadcasting, the best broadcasters in the business. Morris Customs for putting me in this sexy truck. And just I appreciate everybody that helps me along the way and allows me to do the things I'm allowed to do. So.
Well, congrats again, and I look forward to talking to you again as the season goes on.
10-4, brother.
Well, Colin, that was pretty much everything you could ask for. A little bit of attrition, some wildness out there, and a great battle right there to the stripe. I mean, what else can you ask for here at Daytona on an opening night?
Yeah, no, definitely didn't disappoint. There was a lot of intrigue, a lot of, it had a little bit of everything. It had, a big wreck. It had maybe one that should have been a wreck. Had some strategy in play, had some teammates, had some non-teammates working together. So, and a great battle right to the stripe. So, no, that race, I mean, that, like I said, had everything you could ask for.
Yeah, you had some trucks that are on pace, some trucks are off pace, and overall, great pace of the race as Eddie won it.
Yep, subjectively, yes, I'll agree with you. But
well, again, congrats to our winner, Eddie Morris. Congrats to everybody here in the SCSRA. Opening night was a success, and we get to do it all again tomorrow night. Atlee Atman Weiss will have the call here for the Xfinity Series. I know I'll be running that one. I am looking forward to opening the season. Colin, you're racing Xfinity as well, correct?
10-4. We're at Daytona as well.
Yeah, we are. So it's going to be a great opening night tonight. And again, congratulations to our 16th place finisher, Wes Frank Norman. He is the, actually, he's sitting in the waiting room right now. We're going to give him a quick little interview. Wes, you got Josh and Colin in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Man, congratulations tonight. I know it wasn't the best of races coming home in 16th, but you were the random draw tonight. So you're going to get that little cash bonus. That's got to feel pretty good on the opening night with a brand new league, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a pleasant surprise.
Well, you guys were showing a little bit of speed, your group there. I know you guys are all new here with the league, but it's going to be a fun season for sure. How is your race going up into the point you got caught up in that wreck there?
Yeah, I came in here and just was going to fall in line and enjoy the ride for the first race of the season. Kind of get to know how everybody drives. Really wasn't looking to do any moves, just make laps on the track and kind of get used to everybody. So I think as the season goes on, we'll see us moving up in some positions.
Yeah, for sure. Your little group there, like I said, looked pretty stout out there tonight towards the beginning. We saw the 92 leading some laps for a little while as well. I'm sorry, 92 is not in your group. We did see, who was it? Eli was up at the front there, showing up some time there up at the front as well. So a good showing for you guys tonight. David Hartney was up there as well. So overall, pretty good showing for your group. And I can't wait to see what you guys do the rest of the season.
All right, well, I sure do appreciate it.
And before you let you go, anyone you want to thank, a shout out you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to all my teammates and our sponsors, Dirtbag Clothing and W Energy. And my wife will let me do this.
There you go. We always got to thank the wife. She's always allows us to do this and have some fun out here. And are you running you guys running the Xfinity Series too, or are you just the trucks this year?
Yes, we're also running the Xfinity Series.
Well, I look forward to seeing you on track tomorrow night, and look forward to the rest of the season with you guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the group.
Thank you.
So that was Wes Frank Norman, your 16th place finisher, who gets the little cash bonus, the random draw, which is a great little thing that the league does as well.
Yeah, that's about a nice little welcome gift, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. How about that? Welcome to the league. Well, again, as I was trying to say, and I forgot, we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, give us a like, give us a follow and subscribe if you haven't already. Check out our web store. I didn't mention it all tonight, but we do have a web store, IntensityBroadcasting.com. Find hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, mouse pads, not just of Intensity Broadcasting, but all your favorite leagues, including the SCSRA. And the winner from every league, the champion of every league, will get a free piece of swag courtesy of Intensity Broadcasting. So check that out, IntensityBroadcasting.com. Colin, you got anything else you'd like to add here tonight?
No, I just want to thank you for allowing me to be a guest. And my first time in a booth calling a race, so I had a lot of fun. And I just want to say hi to Cassie, because I'm sure she's watching.
For sure. And for everybody here at Intensity Broadcasting, again, congrats to Eddie Morris. Join us tomorrow night as the SCSRA Xfinity Series takes on Daytona. And as our boy Atlee Atman Weiss would say, over and out.